This story that I'm bringing to you right here was highly requested by quite a few of you after it has started to gain a little bit of steam. And to be quite honest, I don't think it's gained that much steam, especially considering here I am thinking that this event just recently happened. As in, when I say recent, I mean within the last week or maybe the last couple of days. But it turns out this event involving this teenager by the name of Mikayla Miller, who was 16 years old, happened a month ago. So they basically buried her story. But that's not surprising and unfortunately is not new when it comes to situations such as this. Like, remember what they did with Ahmaud Arbery? We didn't know that this man was murdered by the McMichaels until May, and he was murdered back in February of last year. So this is not anything new. Same thing with Breonna Taylor. She was killed in March of last year, and we didn't learn about her until damn near the end of May, which is probably around the time of George Floyd. So they found ways to bury these type of stories. But this young lady, her name was Mikayla Miller. She was 16 years old, and they basically found her, and these are their words. Well, the words that the family is giving, and I'm going to lean towards what the family said. They found her lynched in the woods. But that's all. They don't know who did it. They don't know how she got out there. They don't know why she was out there. It's like just a bunch of question marks. All they know is that her body was found there, and that was it. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article. And it's coming out of Massachusetts, by the way. And we know how crazy Massachusetts, especially Boston, can get. But let's go ahead and get into it. Mikayla Miller, a 16-year-old girl from Hopkinton, and can someone tell me the demographics of this place called Hopkinton, was found dead in the woods off of a walking path in the town on a Sunday morning last month. With her family and the community still pleading for more information as to circumstances surrounding her death, a vigil and rally planned for this Thursday, Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan provided an extensive update on the investigation in a press conference Tuesday afternoon. First and foremost, Mikayla Miller, as many of you have seen, was a beautiful child, she said. She was a cherished daughter, a gifted student, a talented athlete, and a loyal friend. Mikayla's death is an unspeakable tragedy for her loved ones and for the entire community of Hopkinton. From the beginning of this investigation, our investigators have been fully committed to determining exactly how Mikayla's precious and promising life ended. Make no mistakes, there is no truth to the allegation that we have reached a final conclusion. The fact that they found her body, like I said, just stranded in the woods, and it was last month, and the news of her body being found never made the news or never made headline news to the point where people will find or learn more about it, lets me know that they're covering something up. Something is definitely not being told or being put on display when it comes to this. Whenever they have to hide stuff like that from the public, especially for something like this, then something is going on beneath the surface that they don't want the public to know. Ryan went on to say that Mikayla had been involved in a physical altercation the evening before her body was found, but that the teenagers present had not been to the area where her body was discovered. She said authorities are still waiting for the medical examiner to determine Mikayla's manner and cause of death, and they're still waiting on the results of a forensic testing on samples and items sent to the lab. I wonder what they sent there. Now, it says she got into a physical altercation. When I think of physical altercation, I think back to Ma'Khia Bryant. And it's crazy how their names are almost similar. Like, her name was Mikayla, and then you had Ma'Khia Bryant, and they were both teenagers. Because Ma'Khia was, 14? And Mikayla was 16. Both teenagers, both deceased. Two different separate events, two different locations, but I just, thought I made that connection. And both events happened back in April. We know that everyone would like to have the answers as to what happened with Mikayla, Ryan said. We know it is difficult to wait for those answers. We have to get the answers in this case, as in every case, with due speed, but in a way that does not compromise the integrity of the investigation. Ryan also responded to calls and questions she said her office had gotten from concerned citizens and adamantly denied that her office has neglected the case or is engaged in some sort of a cover-up because Mikayla was black or because she was a member of the academy. That is patently false, she said. Mikayla's mother, Calvina Struthers, told the Boston Globe that authorities initially told the family her daughter's death was a suicide. See, there they go with that suicide talk again. And see, now red flags are being raised even higher for me. I mean, they were already raised, but now they're raised even higher. So this young lady was found dead in the woods last month. We didn't find out about it until this month, and they didn't even specify what day. They just said it was a Sunday afternoon when they found her, but they don't specify what Sunday it was. Because last I checked, I think it was 4 Sundays in April. So which Sunday was it? Now it has come out, they said that she got into an altercation, but they don't lean too much more onto that. They said that she was a part of the academy, and now they're saying that they are leaning towards that it was a suicide. Now I really don't believe what they're saying as far as the suicide goes, because that's a cop out. How many times have black people gone missing or they're found dead in certain situations and they link it to suicide? There's definitely way more to this, and the thing is, by them labeling it a suicide, that means they don't have to do an investigation. My concern is, did they thoroughly look at the crime scene, Struthers said, or did they just dismiss it because she's a black girl on a tree in Hopkinton? So she was lynched. They said they found her on a tree. Again, how does a person hang themselves from a tree that high? They would need help getting up there. They would need somebody to put them up there. And every time there's a black person that is found literally hanging from a tree, they always say it's a suicide. Always. So when they said that, I said, yeah, they're lying. They are lying through their teeth. This girl did not kill herself. She was killed. And they're not saying who did it. And the fact that it happened last month and we're just now learning about it this week definitely raises a lot of suspicions for me. Struthers also told the Globe that Hopkinton police have been hostile and have withheld information from her. She says she believes that her daughter's race had led to less media coverage of her death. Ryan said authorities have been in almost daily communication with the family representative and says she understands why the family wants answers immediately. It is a great disappointment always that we cannot immediately give families those answers. Now they have a timeline of her disappearance. Saturday, April 17th, 2021. So now we can get an idea of what Sunday it was. It was the 18th when they found her. Mikayla was with 2 friends in the common area or clubhouse of the Revolutionary Way apartment complex where she lived. The 2 friends left and she was joined by 4 other teenagers, 2 males and 2 females, while another female teenager remained in the car outside. One of the female teenagers inside the common area was in a relationship with Mikayla, according to Ryan. Sometime between 5:17 p.m. and 6:41 p.m., a physical altercation occurred between Mikayla and 2 of the teenagers, a male and a female, in the common area. When asked, Ryan says she had clearly heard the allegation that race played a role in the altercation. So that lets me believe that the other teenagers she got into an altercation with were not black. I'm not going to quickly say that they were palm colored, because they could have been another ethnic group and still not liked her because she was black. But if they are palm colored, that's par for the course. I do not have a reason, this is preliminary, to believe that. We do not have any evidence, either positive or negative, as to whether this is the case in the instance, said Ryan, after noting the other teenagers inside the car of a variety of races when asked if they were white. Struthers, Mikayla's mother, told the Globe the 5 teenagers involved are white and that the altercation happened because her daughter got into a fight with her girlfriend, so that answers that. After the altercation, the teens spent another 20 minutes together in the same area, according to Ryan. At 7:20 p.m., Hopkinton police responded to Mikayla's home after Struthers reported that her daughter had been jumped. Mikayla was interviewed by police and told officers that she was pushed and punched in the face during the altercations. Officers noted that she had blood on her lip. The investigation into the assault remains open, and there are no charges pending on that at this point. At 7:43 p.m., officers left Mikayla's home and went to the residence of one of the females who had been involved in the altercation. They took a statement and returned to the apartment complex, observing some damage both inside and outside of the common area. Mikayla was still at home with her mother in their apartment. Between 9:30 p.m. and 9:45 p.m., Struthers went to bed believing that Mikayla was still in the apartment. Between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., a health app on Mikayla's cell phone recorded that the phone had traveled 1,316 steps, which is the approximate distance from the apartment complex to the woods where Mikayla's body was found the next morning, according to Ryan. Mikayla's last known communication was around 9 p.m. to a teenager who was not involved in the earlier altercation. So now this is where the mystery happens. What happened between those times? Because they said that her mother went to sleep, and when she woke up, Mikayla was gone. And they clocked her phone that she took over 1,000 steps to the location in which her body was found. So now here's where the mystery is. So now we can lean more towards we believe that we have some suspects. It's somewhere happening with those teenagers she got into an altercation with. And they're being protected. And now we know that they are all palm colored. At 7:45 a.m., a jogger located Mikayla's body near 34 West Main Street in Hopkinton in the woods off of a walking path and called police. Mikayla had her phone on her and her backpack and other belongings were found nearby. When asked, Ryan wouldn't go into more details about the scene. She said using cell phone data and other digital evidence, authorities confirmed the 4 teenagers present in the common area during the altercation had not gone to the area of 34 West Main Street where Mikayla's body was found on the night in question. Based on witness information, authorities also believe the teenager who stayed in the car had not gone in the area. Or what they could have done is got someone to do it for them. Like, think about it. Like, who would want to harm this girl after she just got into an altercation with all of these individuals the day before? But they said that there's no evidence showing that they went there, which leads me to believe they probably got somebody who was not with them to do it for them. It could have been like a hired hit. That's why they're trying to lean towards that this was a suicide, because they're saying there's no evidence that they were there. But why would she want to go in? Like, why would she go out there in the middle of the night to kill herself? If she was suicidal, she probably could have did it right there in the home. Like, why would she leave the home and take stuff with her and then go kill herself in the woods? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Ryan promised to get answers to the remaining questions about Mikayla's death and said she would be as transparent as possible once she did. Nothing about what I have said brings Mikayla back or consoles her family as they grieve, she said. What we can do and what we really owe her is an accurate and fulsome accounting of what happened and what led to her death. Yeah, like, it's like something is not stirring the Kool-Aid here. And I still got my eye on them teenagers that she was with, that she got into an altercation with the night before. Like it doesn't make any sense to me at all that she would kill herself. Like, none. But they're labeling it as that. And then why did they keep this from the public for almost since for the last few weeks? It's not exactly been a month, but still. Why are they not being transparent and open with her mother? Like, man, listen, in my opinion, those teenagers that she got into it with are involved somehow, some way. Because think about it, she got into an altercation with them the night before. She didn't get into an altercation with anyone else. At least not that we know of. And there's still a mystery as to how she got from her home to the woods with her stuff, and then is found dead in them same woods that where they found her at. Like, it's one big mystery right here. That's why I wish there was some, a lot of people will put surveillance cameras up in their homes, like, or outside their homes, so people can see what's going on. Because I'm telling you, some surveillance cameras would have picked up what happened when she left the house. But like I said, it's like the mystery falls in that gray area of her not being at home after her mother went to sleep and her being found dead in the woods. That's the gray area right there. They need to, if they can fill in that gap right there, I guarantee they can find out who did this to her, or at least get to a step closer to finding out who did this to her, because like I said, it's a big gray area. But yeah, this is it's very sad and unfortunate, and I do offer my condolences to not only her, well, yeah, to her family, to her mother, because I know she's probably going through it right now. And yeah, it's just crazy, and they are, in my opinion, mishandling this case as well. Like, I bet you, if this was like a Natalie Holloway situation, they would have been going out there armed to the teeth trying to figure out what happened to her. But she's not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed 16-year-old, so it's like whatever.